So nerds! I'm actually so excited. I just got myself excited. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh, happy pre-Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, day before Valentine's Day. But happy Galentine's Day, if you will. I thought it would be super fun and fresh to give you 10 quick-paced books, reads, 10 quick-paced books that you could read in a day, you could read in a few hours, quite honestly, but that are just very quick paced and very fun and fresh, that are still really good but very quick paced. I was kind of like, maybe I should do a video like romance books, like my favorite romance books, but I was like, genuinely not everyone wants to read romance on Valentine's Day. Everyone's picking romance books for their TBR, and I just wasn't, because I just wasn't what I wanted to read. So I thought instead of like specifying it, I would end up giving you still 10 recommendations that are honestly different genres. They ended up being different genres, but that they're just quick pace. Like, you can read them for Valentine's Day, you can read them that night if you're doing, like, you know, some self-care, whatever, if you're chilling. These are some very quick paced books that I thought would be great recommendations, or great books to add to your TBR or to read on Valentine's Day. Again, there are a bunch of different genres, so if you guys like that, if you guys like quick-paced books, if you guys like, I don't know, if you guys like books, if you guys like recommendations, then definitely give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and without further ado, let's just get started. I forgot what I was saying for a second because I was so excited. I'm like I generally had that conversation in my head. I was like, honestly, not everyone's gonna want to read romance. There are romance recommendations, because I was thinking, I was like, okay, are there quick-paced romances? And I was like, honestly, would just be mentioning the same stuff, except I would have more variety doing this video to people who don't necessarily want to read romance. You know? Alright, so let's grab our first 5 stack. These are very exciting because I love all of these books, honestly. There's not one that I would say, oh, it's not my favorite. No, like, I love all of these books, and I'm so happy to share them with you. I'm trying to, like, spice up, like, not talk about the same old books all the time. And so this video I was like, oh my gosh, wait, like, I'm so excited because these books are, like, not talked about enough on YouTube and not talked enough about on my channel. So I wanted to mention them. First book that honestly, like, if I hadn't read most of the series, I honestly would probably like curl up in a blanket and binge this whole like series. And I honestly think about rereading the series. That is The Naturals. I have one book left, but I don't want to read it yet because I don't want it to end. But this is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. If you guys have not read Jennifer Lynn Barnes, I don't know what you're doing, but like, from her other series and just in general, I've heard that all of her books are very, very similar to this series, where they're super quick paced, they're super fun, and they're like addicting. You don't want to stop. You know, even if you could stop, which I don't even think you can, because there's no good spot to be like, okay, let me put the book down. You have to like force yourself, genuinely, because there's no like break or like pause, or like there is no calmer parts. Like, for the most part, things are happening the whole time, and that's what obviously makes it quick paced, and that's what makes it so easy to read, because also that's what makes it so easy to read. Also, what else makes it easy to read is just her writing style is very like straight to the point. You don't have to sit there and be like, what does that word mean, or like, you know, figure stuff out. Like, it's very straight to the point. If you don't know, this book does have a little bit of romance in it, but for the most part it is like mystery. So they are basically kids working for the FBI. They're not like kids. They're like, I think like 16, 17, maybe even 18. They're working for the FBI though. So they have these like natural abilities to like, that will help them work with the FBI's. I don't want to tell you everything because it's fun to find it out, but like, it's just is so much fun. So you really like, it's a really quick paced read. And then the font is like a good size. Like, everything about this is just perfect, and a perfect book that you can read in a couple of hours. Like, definitely a good one to read if you're looking for quick paced books. Next we have, this is the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. This is Scarred. I think all of these books, again, are genuinely super, super quick paced. Like, you, again, another one you just don't, I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing for a lot of these. You just don't want to stop, but also there's no good time to stop. It's like, if you start, it's like, you just gotta go all the way through because stuff is constantly happening. You're like, what? This one is darker romance, so if you're not into that, then definitely don't check out this series. But if you're someone who, like, you know, you like it, you want to try it, whatever, this is an amazing series. I think it's so good. These are all like, I don't want to say fairy tale retellings because they're not retellings. They're like, and they're kind of reimaginings, but like, they're just based off that, the original story. So this one's obviously like scarred, so Lion King, but it's the villain gets the girl kind of thing, so gets his justice. And so that's why they're just so good. And this one is, it looks pretty thick. It's 360 something pages. You would think that that would take you a while, but it doesn't. It just goes by so fast. And I think that's the case for all of the books in that series. So whatever one you want to pick up, you don't have to read them in order. Whatever one you want to pick up, definitely pick it up. And that one, I genuinely mean you don't have to read it in order, because I know a lot of people say that about series, but this one you genuinely don't have to read in order because they don't overlap in any way. This one is probably one, honestly, the next few are ones that I would probably say you read in order. These are all like interconnected standalones kind of series-ish things. But next we have, this is the King of Wrath. So this is the you know what I said, by Anna Huang. This is, right now I think she's about to release book 4, which I'm so excited for. But these I think are just so quick. Again, this one is nearly 400 pages, and you would think that that takes forever, but again, it's just so well written that you kind of just like speed through it. I do have to say that this one is the longest one out of the 3 so far, so like honestly the other ones are a little bit quicker paced, but this one is super quick paced for what it is. Again, the writing style is like, it's not hard, the font is nice, like it's just an easy book to read. I read it on my Kindle, I believe. Yeah, these are all free on Kindle Unlimited if you guys did not see that video. Go check it out. But I loved this series, and again, it's a good one. I think Anna Huang definitely got her like her footing with this series, and so I feel like it's just a well-written book, and you will like fly through that. Honestly, fly through that. Honestly, that's the longest book out of all the recommendations, just so you know. But like, if you're wanting to read that, then I would definitely would. Again, that one is romance, dark romance, I guess technically, I don't know. Okay, then we have Mafia Romance. This is my newfound obsession. This is The Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Y'all, this series is so good. Now, these are very short books. I think there's less than 300 pages, but honestly, depending on who you are, 300 pages could take you, it could take you a while if you wanted to make it, but like genuinely it's gonna take you pretty quick normally. But like, I feel like the storyline and just the way she wrote it, and the writing style, everything is super quick pace. Same kind of thing where it's going to be hard to find a spot to stop because you want to know what happens next. You're like, wait, I'm just confused. Like, you're like, huh? I gotta know what is happening, and then it's like plot twists left and right and whatever. And so I love the first, okay, I was gonna say all of these. I love the first 2 that I read, but they are like, I would read them as a series. Like, read them first, 1 through whatever. Like, I would not just pick up a random one, but this one is very short paced. Mafia Romance, like, it's a win. It's a W. Take the W and love the W. Alright, and then last out of my first 5. It's not in any order, honestly, I just picked up the stack. We have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Honestly, both of these, Icebreaker and Wildfire, super quick pace. Like, you can finish this in a night if you wanted to. Again, this one is, this one's over 400 pages, so this one I think is the longest recommendation, but again, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's a 200-page book. Like, it is so quick, and again, you're like, whoa, what, and yeah, let me tell me, like, whatever. This one's more of your traditional romancy adult romance books. So okay, they're in college, but like still, it's still adult, you know what I mean? Romance books, and so this is definitely one for one of you people who want that like sappy love story that's super cute and like, you know, just a good time, cheesy, corny, that whole vibe. This is definitely for you. But just know it's not for the faint of heart. So I would look up like any information you need to know before reading this book, but it's a good one. So next stack. First we have, this is Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. I genuinely think all of Percy Jackson's. I always do that. Oh my. I genuinely feel like all of Rick Riordan's books are super quick paced and super fast reads. If you started with the first Percy Jackson, like whatever you wanted to do, I think he has a whole variety of books. I would personally start with Percy Jackson, but if you've read the Percy Jacksons, you don't want to reread them. This is an extension. This is book like 6 out of the 6. I think it's book 6 of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. So it's like still the Percy Jackson like original box set that you read when you were in middle school. This is just like right after that. So it's before all of the extensions. It's before, actually, oh, I lied to you. Okay, I lied. It's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Percy Jackson and what was it? the Lost Hero series. I don't remember what that one's called. So it's the first 10 books. First 10 Percy Jackson books, then this book. But they count it as, because it's only Percy Jackson, Annabeth, and Grover. They count it as book 6 out of the first box set. But like it does, oh my gosh, how do you explain? I don't know. Jason gets mentioned, but he's not like, it's not like anything deep. You know what I mean? Anyway, so whatever. I digress. This book was super, super fast-paced. If you want to read this book specifically, like if you've read the Percy Jacksons, you don't care where you start. You just want some like major nostalgia and you want to read about Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, this is your book. Do it. It is a great one. But he does have other books. That's all I was trying to say. I don't know. There's so many like different like orders, and then if I can't remember the names, it's just gonna get confusing, so we're just gonna pretend like none of that happened. Okay, then I have 2 books from the same author, but they're not a series, so I mentioned them separately. They count in my 10. First, we have Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I love this book so much. First of all, I forgot she's coming out with a new book soon, and I cannot wait. I think it's coming out in June, and I'm like, yes, that's my birthday month. Anyway, this is such a good book. I think it is so fun. This is another one that's corny, cheesy, fun, rom-com-y vibes. There is a little bit of like a deeper thing to it. She becomes facial blind, so she can't see faces. She can only see like she could see like clothes and stuff like that. But the way the face looks is not the way it is. So like an eye will be over here. Like it just like looks disoriented, whatever. It looks not the same. But anyway, I thought she was completely blind. And so I'm like, why are people calling this a rom-com? Like, she's completely blind. That is so depressing, but it's not like that. And it's not as extreme as you would think it is. So, not extreme. I shouldn't say that. I just mean, like, it's not as, permanent as you think it would be. Okay? That's all she says. Like, it may go away, may not. That kind of vibe. So anyway, so that's why it's still rom-com-y and still, like, deep and sad, but, like, also very fun. And, like, the ending, you're like, no freaking way. I love this book. I made my friend read it, and yes. Then again, by the same author, Catherine Center, we have the Bodyguard. Well, I didn't even tell you. Like, these are both super, super quick paced. The way she writes her books is so fun because they're just so good and you get so much in such a short amount of time. I think these are both less than 300 pages. Like, they're not that, yeah, they're both less than 300 pages. Super, super quick, but they're so funny. They're super rom-com-y, but then they have their moments of like, whoa, did that just really happen? And then you're like, ha ha ha, you know what I mean? Like, it has a lot of everything, and so that's why I think it makes it so good. Her writing style is just so breezy, so fun. I think, yeah, someone had said this, and I kind of like subconsciously, I never like really think about it until this moment, but like these both have a lot of dialogue in them, which I think is what makes it so quick paced, is because it's not a lot of like just it's not these freaking monologues in people's heads. Like, no, it's literally like conversations, and I think that's what obviously makes it quicker. Sorry, I'm slouching, so I needed to lower the camera a little bit. Anyway, I love both of those books so much, and I think you guys would love them, especially if you're, again, trying to look for something super quick, but also fun and romance. That's the one. That's the author you should check out. Okay, this one is fun, quick-paced, not your traditional romance. It's a little bit, it's from the Embers by Ali Martinez. This book is crazy. Okay, so it starts off and there's a huge fire and like, you know, people, I hate to say it, but people do die. So it's not like you're fun and like cheesy, corny, ha ha ha, like it's not like that. But it is a little bit of romance, number one. Number two, it's also a little bit like a mystery, a little bit like of suspense. Like, I feel like there's a lot in this that they don't like tell you like right off the bat, because there's like a little bit of like, wait, what's happening? But like, is this too good to be true? Like, what's the whole nine? Like, what's gonna happen next? That whole vibe. And so I think it is so good, honestly, and I think everyone should read this. I had my moment with it last year. I honestly should I think I'm gonna reread it. Oh my gosh, I definitely need to reread this book. It was just so good. But it is like a adult romance, so just keep that in mind. But it's so interesting that, like, I honestly think you could read this in a couple hours and be done with it, but you would want, like, I think it's just a perfect, again, cozy, get in, like, your coziest stuff, get in a bath, and just read this for hours and hours. You'll have a great time. Alright, and then last but not least, we have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. So this is one, it had its moment again last year. This one is closer to 400 pages, so not a very short book normally, but I feel like because, yeah, you can see there's a lot of dialogue, so I guess maybe that's the trick for quick-paced books. But if you guys do not know, this book is just incredible. Like, if you have not heard, it is so good. This is a pregnancy trope, but And I know a lot of people who don't like that. I've heard a lot of people don't like that trope, but everyone, even people who don't like that trope, have loved this book that I've heard of. So honestly, I just feel like it's just such a good one to read. I recommend it. I think it is so quick paced because you want to know. Like, you're like, wait, no, like, I need to know what's happening. You're having the time of your life. Honestly, you read, this is one of those books where you're like, you're reading and then you like glance at the page and you're like, how did I get to 200 pages? You have no idea because it's just so quick, but you're like in this world. You're like in there with them. You're like a fly on the wall. It feels like you're watching a movie. That's how good it is. It's very like, it puts you there. Her writing is so well and so good. And so I'm excited to read more of her books. I believe this one, I don't know, never mind. I don't know what I was going to say. But I'm excited to read more of her books, and I definitely 10 out of 10 recommend this book. It's not going to be for everyone. That's okay, but I wanted to throw it out there because it is super, super quick. Paced. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're reading any of these books. Are you reading them on Valentine's Day? Let a girl know. Let me know. I don't know what I'm going to read on Valentine's Day. I don't know. And then if you're just looking for quick pace recommendations, definitely let me know if you bought any of these books. Let me know if you've read any of the books. Let me know if you have any recommendations yourself for quick pace books. Okay, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, nerds!